And if you were rooting for Edmonton and you weren't really invested in it, it just kind of went from bad to worse and turned into ultimately a rather boring 5-1 win.
Yeah, they had 2 empty net goals. Reinhardt with 4 goals, 2 of them empty net.
Yep.
And look, the better team won. I don't have the exact numbers, but they led for like 90% of the series.
Yeah.
And I love the way the Florida Panthers play. They're talented, they're physical, they hit. Their defense is mobile and, like I said, physical, and they have a great goalie and a real good coach.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there's amazing stats that come out of this. Corey Perry now on the losing end of 4 of the last 6 Stanley Cups. Is that what it is?
I think it's
5 of the last 6 on 4 different teams.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, my favorite stat came from a radio dude in Boston named Alex Barth at 98.5. And he tweets out, one of my favorite stats, lives another year. An American-based team has won the Grey Cup, the CFL championship, more recently than a Canadian-based team has won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
1993, the Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup. 1995, the Baltimore Stallions won the Grey Cup.
Which is incredible.
It really is incredible.
Yes, and the fact, let's be honest, the Toronto Raptors won the NBA championship a few years ago with Kawhi Leonard, and the Blue Jays won the World Series beating the Phillies in 1993, Joe Carter's home run.
Yep.
So it's been 1993 since a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup.
When did you first pen the lyrics to this song?
I think 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And I had a little help this year. A guy who tweets me all the time, Frankie V, he gave some help a little bit. So I used 1 or 2 of his lines. And what this is because I love Canadian hockey. I grew up watching like the Team Canada playing Russia in the 8-game series. I have a Team Canada jersey. I love Team Canada. And I love the Canadian hockey culture. So this is more just a make fun of fun type of thing with more of the direction, more of the venom headed towards Toronto and the Maple Leafs because their fans think that they own the game. And, what's interesting, and I was on a little text thread with my friends from college, and between the ones who Philly, the New Yorkers who have, 2 teams in New York or whatever, one friend's a Giant fan, one friend's a Jet fan. So for the teams that we care about, the last championship the droughts in the last 30 years, the Lions, 1957, the Jets, 1969, the Knicks, last championships, 1973, the Flyers, 75, the Pirates, 79, the Sixers, 83, Tigers, 84, Mets, 86, the Rangers, 94, and one of my friends is a Cowboy fan, 95. But the country of Canada is 93.
You do realize why Canadians might not find this quite as funny as you do?
I understand that.
Okay.
Yes, and I do realize, that's why I mentioned the Canadian teams have won the NBA and the Major League Baseball. And most of the teams, let's be honest, are still comprised of mostly Canadian players. Yep. So I'm not denigrating the Canadian players. It's a fun thing.
All right. Are you ready?
I am ready. Here we go. Whoa, Canada, it happened once again. 32 years, when will you win again? The last time you won, I was 34, and McJesus wasn't born. Since 93, it's the same ending. The true North hearts are torn. God keep your land, Stanley Cup and tariff free. Whoa, Canada, it's been since 93. Whoa, Canada, no Stanley Cup for thee.
Mike Stone, ladies and gentlemen, and his version of Whoa, Canada.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And to think, I wasn't sure you had a good singing voice.
I don't.
But alas, I am proven wrong. That man can carry a tune, can't he?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's deep. I can do it. If you have to reach the real high notes, that's where I have major difficulties.
I wouldn't describe it as major.
Like I said, I love the Canadian people. I've got a lot of Freeds of Windsor. Sorry, it's free plug. Dan Orman and Ari Freed. I used to hang out at Don Cherry's, do shows from there and other places over there. I love Canada. Been to Toronto several times. Love it. But it's kind of just humorous to me. I have a sick sense of humor, and that's one of it.
No, I think that was very, very, very well done. And this idea just came to you.
A few years ago. Yeah.
Change the lyrics from "Oh Canada" to "Whoa Canada."
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well played, Mike.
Jam it or slam it. 248-539-9797.
Well, but we're going to shelve it for at least 1 year.
Yes.
Although now it's out there on YouTube and Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
so people can watch it whenever they want.
Yeah.
Way to go, Mike.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Do you get approval from your wife for stuff like this?
No.
Does she ever say, "Oh my God, you embarrassed me"?
Yes.
Okay.
And believe me, this is tame for one of the things she's worried about me embarrassing her on.
Well, I remember one year when we were doing the draft show, and you got into the brown water a little bit and started walking around your house,
yes,
streaming video live. I thought that was a bit dangerous.
Yeah. And one year we did it. I was in my daughter's dorm in the University of Michigan, or her apartment, I think it was. Yeah.
Never know what you're going to get with Mike. 248-539-9797. All right, so there was that last night, and then there was the Tiger game. What a absolute wonderful night for Javi Baez. Javi Baez is the feel-good story of the Detroit sports year so far. The turnaround is amazing. It was straight hostility. And I guess, you can say it was earned. The amount of money he was making and the production just wasn't there. It was hostility, it was animosity. And we've moved through what I would call a truce phase where you kind of start to accept, all right, he's not hurting the team as much. And I think that's where he moved out to center field and actually started playing pretty good center field. But as the offense and the bat have continued to produce and he's come alive, I don't know how to describe Detroit fans and their relationship with Javi Baez right now. But Mike, it's, is he turning into a beloved player?
Slowly he is. People just love the fact that he seems to be a great teammate even when times were tough.
Yep.
He gave it a shot, and he's playing. And the fact that he's playing and volunteered to play any position that they need, goes into the heart of any sports fan. And more importantly, he's producing. How long it'll last, I don't know. We said it after the first month. Now the second month. Now we're June 18th. It's almost half a season.
Yeah.
Almost. But it's been tremendous.
It really has. So last night he hits 2 home runs and, bounces back from an error that cost them some unearned runs. This dude, I don't know if we've ever seen anything quite like this because, sure, there have been guys who have turned their careers around. But, man, was this it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Him playing down there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had speculated that maybe he just wants out in every way and gives them some concessions with the contract because he was never going to be worth that kind of money until now. He's worth something. He's worth a lot to this team. He means a lot to this team, and you have to give him a ton of credit. Because, I'm sure we'd like to have his problems. Everybody would like to have his problems of getting that kind of money and not producing. But it's got to be tough to show up at work every day and be showered with booze. They were chanting his name last night.
Yeah.
Chanting his name last night.
I think some of the credit should go to Keenan Michael Peel, right?
For Javier Baez?
Yeah. Did I say his name right? Did I screw it up?
I think you did.
Yeah, I always.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
I called him Peel instead of Key.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh, God, some things never change.
No, it's Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key.
Yes, Keegan-Michael.
Or Keegan-Michael Peele, I think you called him.
I did. Okay.
Just when we thought the singing part of the segment was going to be
the
the
guy from
embarrassing.
Detroit who looks like James Franklin, who called him Javier Bays.
Javier Bays has been great.
Yes.
And the Fear Javier shirts are hysterical. And this is a guy who's, I don't know how you describe your feelings towards Javi Baez right now, but 248-539-9797. There was a lot more that happened last night. Casey Mize was a little shaky early, but then retired 11 of his last 12. Wenzel Perez had a 2-run homer, had a triple. His stats are off the charts. He's doing it both right-handed and left-handed. He's played all 3 outfield positions. He's hit in 5 different spots in the order. Dylan Dingler's throw was insane. Andy Dirk said it was the most ridiculous throw he's ever seen, and it's probably not hyperbole. I don't have Andy Dirk's eyeballs, so I don't know all the throws he's ever seen, but that throw is worthy of being the best throw anybody's ever seen.
He wasn't the only catcher that stood out last night. I don't know if you saw Jake Rogers in the locker room doing helium. Oh, my God. Oh, we have it?
We have it? Well, we'll have to play that coming up. And Riley Green hit a ball 3/4 of the way to Southgate last night. 248-539-9797. We'll get to your phone calls and feedback coming up. At 12:35, we're going to have another edition of Who's on Top.
Ooh, first time I've ever played that game.
Yes, you get to play Who's on Top, and we'll do it today at 12:35. A good list from in our state. It is Karsh and Anderson with Stoney in for Scott here on 97.1 The Ticket.